Good morning, everyone. Namaste. We are going to call on Archangel Michael to clear, cleanse the space, all negative and lower vibrations from our mind, body, and soul, home and hearts, placing the white light of protector on us with his blue seal. And I want to call in Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, because we're going to be reading out of her book, A Message of Wisdom and Love. And I never know what I'm going to read when I read these books, guys. Bear with me. So it says, you may have heard or read about the Dead Sea Scrolls that are now considered the oldest biblical evidence in existence. If not, I recommend them as proof that the Essenes existed. However, they are primarily focused on the community of Qumran, do not necessarily identify the work of the Mount Carmel community. Among the treasure trove discovered in the jars found in the first explored cave near the former Qumran community, there were 7 nearly intact scrolls ready to translate. One of these was an entirely readable scroll containing the Old Testament scriptures of the book of Isaiah that predated the earliest Jewish example of the same biblical source. So there was great excitement and fear among the theologians and historians as to what this would mean for our present religious understandings. When I visited Jerusalem in 1984, a handsome building called the Shrine of the Book had been built to keep the scroll safe, to display the wonderful ancient Isaiah manuscript behind humidified glass in one continuous roll around the circular room. It was thrilling to see such a piece of ancient writing, even though I couldn't read the words. The curious part of this extraordinary find is that it has been continuing the laborious translation process by many professionals of different nations and religions. Both the secrecy of the scroll content and lengthy process of translating the material have caused scholarlies to outrage, accusations, and arguments worldwide. Colored by competitive and often uncooperative attitudes among these involved. Nonetheless, today the public can finally read some of the translations from the Essenes scribe those 2,000 years ago, including actual contents of some gospel contained in the scrolls. Regrettably, the scrolls were not individually signed by their scribes, neither was the location or date of their work given. That stinks. So many mysteries still remain for anyone interested. However, a profusion of information is available on this topic in books, in countless articles, and over 19,000 website listings about the Dead Sea Scrolls. In spite of all this information, I am saddened to say that there is nowhere in the Dead Sea Scrolls research have I seen mention of Jesus' grandmother, Anna. Very little about his mother, Mary. This suggests to me that the truth about the esoteric Essenes and Anna, who helped bring forth the Messiah, remains hidden in the earlier school of the prophets community of Mount Carmel. Perhaps through other inspired authors, including information contained in this volume, or from still hidden archaeological find or Mount Carmel's physical site, we may finally know and appreciate what has been gone before. In meantime, the implication in the meaning of this Essene topic invites us to these 2,000 years later to interpret the historical and religious values. As always, by our individual opinion, perception, and conclusion, it is our hope in presenting this book about Anna and the Essenes that you find something inspiring that raises your consciousness, gives you the courage and commitment to fulfill the particular soul purpose you wish to complete. If the material we share gives new insight and increased willingness to be the finest spiritual human you can be, then we rest content. Before I go, I shall leave you with a short commentary from a real scroll fragment taken from the Essene book of Revelations. It says, I have reached the inner vision, and through thy spirit in me, I have heard thy wondrous secret. Through thy mystic insight, thou hast caused a spring of knowledge to well up within me, a fountain of power pouring forth living waters, a flood of love and all-embracing wisdom, like the splendor of eternal light. That's by Virginia Essene. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. That's a lot to digest. I've heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls, I believe. I went to Catholic school for 8 years, so I possibly could have heard it there. I'm not really sure, but I have heard of them. But I didn't have any knowledge in regards to them. I'm probably going to look that up, and I would highly recommend if you're intrigued by it as well. So I will leave it at that, and I love you all. Have a blessed day, and namaste.